Welcome, everyone. My name is Jennifer Keller. I am with the Construction Division, and I'm going to be leading us through some information today regarding the use of the ASHAware APCM application and paying for work items and estimates. All right. So I am going to ask that we hold all of our questions until the end of the demonstration and the presentation, and then we'll collect all those at that point in time. You are more than welcome to include those in the chat as we work and as we move along, but we will attempt to address those again after the presentation is complete. All right. So a lot of y'all may already be aware, some of you may not, so I want to be able to share some information. Site Manager is our current construction and materials management system that is being used, but it is reaching its end of life, and we will be moving to the ASHAware Project Construction and Materials, otherwise known as APCM. It is an enterprise-wide software solution for managing an agency's construction program. So just like our existing site manager software, APCM will serve the same purpose. So some of y'all may ask why we are having to change. We all know that Site Manager has been around for an extended period of time, 20 plus years that we've been utilizing it. And as I mentioned previously, it is reaching its end of life. As our organization is looking at different solutions and different opportunities to improve our construction program. It's also necessary that we be able to make those connections with different softwares and applications. All right, so we do have this series of scheduled lunch and learns, regarding APCM that I wanted to be able to share with you all. So you can see here, last month we had one regarding creating and approving a DWR in our system. We have posted that video link there. This month we are going over payment for work items and estimates, and you're in this meeting now. You can review this list for future topics. You can also scan that QR code that I have shared on the screen. That will allow you to get the most current information regarding APCM and our rollout and the training materials that will be available. So what does the APCM implementation look like for TxDOT? We do have a phased rollout that we will be doing. We are currently conducting a pilot with 2 of our districts, and then we will move towards a phased rollout plan beginning in January. So all new projects that are let for the Abilene, Fort Worth, Lufkin, Waco, and Yoakum districts beginning in January 2026 will be included within APCM. So you can review this chart and identify when you may be impacted or when you will need to begin to start using the system. Oops, jumped ahead there a little bit. So let's talk about some general APCM estimate information, right? There's not a lot that will change from our existing process in Site Manager to what we will be doing within APCM. Districts at contract activation will modify the estimate routing by the estimate type and establish those levels of approval or review prior to being transmitted to the finance division. And those will be able to be set specific to each of the types of estimate. When you're ready to begin your first estimate, we will have the ability for a project manager or bookkeeper to generate that estimate. It'll go to the area engineer for approval, and then it'll go to the next level that's established by your district procedures or policies, to the district construction maintenance office, to the district construction maintenance engineer, routed through your district engineer if that is what your procedure is, prior to going to the finance division. All right, now I'm going to switch over to the APCM application so that y'all are able to look through, and we'll walk through running an actual estimate. All right, so what I have open here is APCM. I'm going to refresh my screen. Okay, I'm currently in the environment, in our test environment, as a project manager or chief inspector, as it's noted. You can tell that by this information up here. I'm going to go down to our contract progress. And you can see here that I have been working within, I've actually been working within 0916 00267. So when I type that in there, it brings up the projects that I am assigned to the office, or information that is available to me in that role. Within this contract progress summary, you'll see general information that you're able to view, such as the general information for the project within the screen, the contract amounts, we can click on the daily work reports through this menu on the left-hand side, where you'll be able to identify the daily work reports that have been entered specific to this project. So you can see that I have pre-populated some DWRs for this contract, and I have more than the screen can hold. So I'm going to ask that it load the next 5. All right. So I have DWRs created from 7-1 all the way through 7-14. For this specific example, I was planning on running an estimate for the specific dates of 7-1 through 7-14, so we could see what that would look like. Your estimate dates will be specific to your contract and will align with our current practices and procedures as you work through that. I do see an issue here for this example, though, because I have some that are pending approval. So I'm going to reach out to get those approved as I show you some other things within the system. All right, so we've got this information that's available here. We will go to the diaries, which is where our actual time entries are made. And we can view the time entries for the specific dates that are included. You can do that by looking here at the contract time. And you can see for the date of 7-1, I have charged 1 day. That aligns with our contract time requirements. All right, we're going to go back to our previous screen. Okay, let me look and check in our daily work reports. go back to the screen. Right. And load the next 5. All right, those are not yet approved. And I have some pay items within 7.1. So let's take a look at that one. All right, so our payment entries are made through a DWR, similar to what we're currently doing within Site Manager. Once we have completed the narrative portion of our DWR, including the general information regarding the date, the weather, any general contract requirements that would need to be included, we can move on to identifying the contractors on site, the equipment, and the personnel. And if you're interested in more information regarding those screens, please review the DWR APCM video that was produced last month. We'll want to look at the postings. This is the area that we are making those entries. So for this DWR, I have included one pay item. Okay, and by expanding this here, you can see the entry that was made for that payment. The prime contractor is included. All of our payments go to the prime contractor. We'll report the quantity that's measured and placed on the project as identified by the inspector in the field. We'll include stationing. We'll include any additional information related to that stationing. We'll identify a location. We can choose to click if that is measured or not. We will include a material set if it is necessary. And then you will include a plan sheet page number as referenced in your plan set. Any comments here? So any remarks, the remarks bubble that we were utilizing in Site Manager is where any of that information will be included. We will have additional lunch and learns regarding materials at a future date. So this is how we are making those payments for items within APCM. And we also need to be aware of the change in our terminology. Payments are identified as postings. Okay, so let's go out of this DWR. It's still pending approval. So what I'm going to do is go back to our contract progress. Ideally, we would speak to someone within our office. They are now approved. Great. So I have 7.1 through 7.14 approved for this contract. I'm going to go to our payment estimate option from our menu. Okay. What I'm going to want to do is add a payment estimate. You will choose the type of payment estimate that you have, either as a final, a progress, a semi-final, or a supplemental. We will be providing some additional information regarding each of those as we continue to progress with the rollout. But our normal monthly estimates will be identified as that progress estimate. Okay, we do have a period begin date here that's already identified as 6/9/2025. So there apparently was a previous work that was done. So that's the last date that was available. And we're going to run it through the 7/14/2025 here. We're then going to click on our add payment estimate button. All right, so we're going to wait for this process to execute. Can I have whoever is speaking at the moment mute themselves? Thank you. All right, from this screen, we can view the payment estimate overview. And then by selecting your CSJ, okay, here we can see that payment estimate number 1 is available as a progress estimate. When you click on the estimate number, you'll be able to view information that's calculated within this estimate. So we have our pay estimate amount. We've identified a total of $3,344 to the contractor. Okay, you can identify any notes that may have been included in the processing of the estimate if it's chosen to include any. We'll be able to see any exceptions that would need to be taken care of or noted for these. Those could be material deficiencies, any of those types of items that you would currently expect would be in Site Manager. Our time charges. All right, so we've currently identified that 8 days are being charged to the contract, and that aligns with the time charges that we would expect for the dates that we selected the estimate for. Okay. Our project is another type of recap. We've got our payment estimate number, we have our amount, we have a percent complete based upon that dollar amount. If there were any adjustments that were needed, we would identify them here. Within the items tab here from this menu, you can see the actual specific pay items that were included within this contract. So we see, as I mentioned, I paid preparing right away. We have 1 acre that was paid for this estimate period, and the calculation for this that's included. You can also then identify any exceptions that are specifically associated with the items. Our next screen is the approval tracking. And here we would expect to be able to see the movement of the estimate from a project manager or bookkeeper to the area engineer and to the additional areas that have been that are established within your policy and procedures. All right, so we will need to submit for approval so that it can go to that next level. All right, so now it is populated. You can see here that the estimate has been submitted. Level 2 is identified as the area engineer, and it is a pending approval until that the area engineer has that opportunity to review that. So you would continue on to the finance division. We will be covering additional reports that are available regarding this estimate generation process in a future APCM Lunch and Learn. So those will be included for reporting that's needed prior to generating an estimate, and those that you would also be looking at once the estimate process is complete. All right, so that completes the demonstration within APCM of the generating an estimate. I appreciate everyone being here today. I did place that QR code there again for additional information to future lunch and learns, and the APCM webpage that we have up that will contain additional information regarding the program.